Hello, you're welcome to my channel. Today we'll be learning how to make a shirt. If this is your first time you're coming across our channel, you're highly welcome. Here we teach sewing tutorials. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always tuning in. And if this tutorial is something you would love to learn, a button down shirt, please keep watching. You can use our handle to reach us when you recreate this. Let's get right into it. Thank you. For this tutorial, you will need a 2.5 yards or 2 yards fabric or 1.5 yards fabric. That is by 60. Okay. So I folded my fabric into two. We're working on the front panel first. So you're going to fold, after folding your fabric, the English mouth, that's the edge meeting each other, you're going to fold them by 2, which I have done. So I am working with a medium size of male body, a medium size. So I'm going to draft this block with the highest body of it, which is the hip, is the highest part of the measurement that is there. So the hip is what I'm going to use now to cut out my body block before we proceed to the measurement. So my hip divided by 4 is what I have here. So I've marked it out. Then I added it's 10 points, it's 40, let me just 10.1. So use your measurement. Then I'm going to add 2-inch 1.1 1.5 sewing allowance. Okay, make sure you're using your measurement, please. Thank you. So that is what I've marked out. So now I'm just going to cut this out before I'll cut out for the back, then before proceeding the cutting proper. Okay, so I'm going to go down by 4-inch from the starting edge, and what I'll do here, I'm going to connect it to the edge of the folded part. Okay, so now that I've done that, I am going to take my tape measurement and divide that measurement into 2 to get my full body length. Okay, I'm going to divide that line now into 2. That place that I marked is where I will now place my tape to get my full body measurement. The body length I'm working with, the top length I'm working with is 28. Okay, so I'll place it in the middle there, right there, that I divided into 2, and I'm going to mark my 28 inches. So now that I've done that, I will just cut out. This is the 28, that's the length over there. So I'll just take my scissors and I'll cut out. Just want you to see the overview of it, and I'll cut out. Like I said, my fabric was folded into 2. Then I fold 2-inch inward, which is the button allowance. Okay, then I took my hip. My hip measurement is what I use for the body block because it's the highest body measurement that I have. So I use my hip measurement to divide by 2 what I have by 4. Sorry, what I have is what you're seeing me marked there plus my sewing allowance. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut this out. This is like my body block. Okay, this is my body block, not like my body block. So now we're going to work on the back pattern, the back fabric panel. So remember I slant by 4 before, so I'm going to replace that 4 now. You just watch what I'm doing. I'm going to measure 4-inch. This ruler is 2-inch by standard measurement, so I'm just going to use it twice. That will give me 4-inch. I don't know why I did that, because my tape is supposed to do the work. So I'm just going to measure 4-inch as same. Now that I've done that, I'm just going to check if my measurements were accurate. Like I said, I would have used my tape. So I'm just going to check. When I'm done cross-checking and my measurement is accurate, I will move the fabric to the 4-inch where I marked you. Okay, just like so. Yes. So what I did was I went up by 4-inch from the base, right? So my front panel pattern is ending at that 4-inch that I went up by. So now I'll proceed to cut the slant that already is existing. Please, when you're working with something like this, make sure you pin. So now I'm just going to cut the slant upward, you see, like so, slanting that part. Now I'm cutting out my back block. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm going to move the front panel to meet the down. Okay. But here I'm just securing my fabric so that I have a straight fabric that I'm working with. So I'll move it to the edge as seen, like so. Then I'm going to flip the upper part to meet the front part as seen. You're going to lap it like so. If you lap it, you take a look at the neckline, that other side, you see that it's tinting out. Don't worry, I'm going to show you what to do. So I'm just going to flip it like so and secure it with a pin. Iron down and secure with a pin. Just going to flip like that and secure with a pin so that I can see where I'm working from. Okay, so now that I've done that, now we're going to impute our body measurements. To my shoulder measurement is 17.5. Please use your measurement. Use your measurement. I always say it in my videos. Don't have the same measurement. So I'm just going to divide it by 2 and impute what I have there. Okay. Making sure your measurement is starting from, ignore the back panel, the back pattern that is tinting out. Make sure that your measurement tape is on the folded side of the front panel. Okay, the center front, yes, it has to align. So I'll just impute my whatever I have, my shoulder divided by 2, and I'll mark it across. I'll add 0.5 sewing allowance. Okay, because I'm marking directly on the fabric. If I'm not marking directly on the fabric, if it's on a pattern paper, you can add it when you're cutting. But because I am marking directly on the fabric, I have to impute it. So I've imputed my sewing allowance there. So I'm just going to mark it across whatever I did in the upper part there. Just going to mark it. You see how I'm making sure my fabric is in place. Now to get your armhole depth, you're going to use the same measurement you have for your shoulder is what you use for your armhole depth, but you will now minus 0.5 from whatever you have. Okay, whatever you have, you're going to minus 0.5 from it and impute it as your armhole depth. If your shoulder measurement, let me assume my shoulder measurement is 15. 15 divided by 2 give me 7.5. So if I'm using 7.5, then I will then minus 0.5 from that 7.5. That will now give me my shoulder depth for this meal tutorial. Okay.
So all I need to do is to connect this to this. So from here I will go up by 3 or 2.5. I'm not supposed to use this chalk because it will not go off. Where's my white chalk? My white pen. So I really need to use the chalk. This chalk. I don't want it to. So I have to go in by 1 here. So I'm connecting from here. Do you get? If you have a curve, you can use your curve. So this is what we have. So now let's work on this part. My neck is 15.5, so we need 15.5. So this is 15.5. Okay, I'm going to divide it by 4. We have 3.07. So you place here, you put your 3.07 like so. Okay. Now to get the width, we need to divide this again into 2, and we have 1.07 as well. So I'm going to put my 1.07 like so. It's going to come like so. And that is it. So let's cut here out. For this, you lift it up like so, please. So this is it. But if you measure around, you see I have 15 point. It's perfect for me. Okay, when I'm sewing I can deepen it, but it's better that way because if it's too wide it becomes a problem. So we are done with this. So what I need 8 half inch for sewing. So I'm just going to place it like so with the help of my ruler. So for the sleeve, the total length I need 12 or 11.5. I need 8.5 for the sleeve length, then 2" for sewing allowance. So now, I said I need 8.5, right? Hope you can see. So this is what I need. So my sleeve was 17. This shoulder was 17.5 divided by 2, right? 9. So all I need is 9 here. Then the sewing allowance I added was 2. So for this we have 13. 6.5. Going to add 2" sewing allowance. I prefer to have excess. When I have excess, I can easily trim off. So now I'll have to come down by 4. I'll just connect to this point. But let me do this. I usually don't use it when I'm making men's wear. So this is it. So I'm just going to notch this part. So I have sewn the front, this is the one that I've sewn. I hope you can see it. See it like so. Okay. So this is the one that I've sewn. Okay. So now I will take this to show you. This is the one I have not sewn. You see, it's because I have to show you guys. So
what I did was I cut out a stay. I used this paper stay, but this is a stronger, the mini strong one. Okay, if you don't have it, you can also decide to use this one. Okay, it's just to give it a structure there. You know, it's 2-inch allowance that I brought out, right? So now I'll fold the 1 inch and I'll fold another one like so. So with the help of my hemming gum, I will hem it before I then stitch like this. So this is what I did, okay? I just want to show you what I did here. So this will take it aside. I will do that now. So for the sleeve, if you remember, I used 2-inch for my folding. So I fold one and I fold another one. I've gone ahead to stitch it. So I used hemming gum to secure it, then I now stitch it. So this is what you should have if you have done yours. So on your added allowance, remember I said if the allowance you add, you have to notch so that when you're folding, you know where to stop, okay? So I have done that for this one. So for the back, I cut out the back facing. I don't know if I... So this is the back, okay? This is the back and this is the facing I cut. The standard for this facing is it's not standard. I don't want to use standard because some people do more than that, right? So it depends on what you're making. So for this I did 8. Hope you can see. Okay. So for this, what I did was 8. This is where your measurement is starting from, right? I did 9. So I'm just going to sew with 0.5, like so. Okay. So to do that, we will need I need to iron to do that, okay? So what I have to do now is I have to fold where I want it to end. Then I will secure with an iron, okay? So I'll iron it down. So now that I've done that, I'm going to take the big body, place it like so. So you have to make sure it touches the edge as seen like so, okay? Make sure it aligns properly. When you're done, take out your hemming gum. If you don't have hemming gum, just pin down so that the fabric won't move. But it's advisable you use hemming gum because it just secures it, and when it will give you a very neat finishing. When you're stitching, the fabric will not move, okay? But if you don't have, use the good old needle. It still does the work, just that you don't have to stretch the fabric, okay? Most of this vintage floral fabric has a little stretch in it, so when working with them, it's advisable not to stretch it too much because it has stretch. This is what I mean. Now, so now that I'm done with this, I will take it to the machine and I'm going to top stitch. Okay, top stitch with like 0.1 or so. I'm going to top stitch. Then I'll come back to show you what to do next, okay? So I am done stitching it, you can see. So what I will do now is to take the front and put it here, as seen like so, and turn this other side. To knit it here.
you stretch it down to this point and stretch the other one down to this point, and you sew on your added allowance. Okay, so you sew on your added allowance, you repeat it on the other side. Let me do it again just in case you didn't see me well, you didn't see it well. You will take, this is the back, you know you did a facing on the back, right? So now here is not sewn. Okay, are you seeing it? So now what you're going to take is, you're going to take the front panel, making sure it aligns in the right side. Take the front panel, you put it on the top of this back facing like so. Okay, making sure it's equal. Once you have successfully done that, you flip this one to meet it here again like so. You stretch it out towards the end, align them together, everything together. If possible, secure with a pin. If you are a beginner, secure with a pin. Using pin does not have to do with beginner. It depends on how excellent you want your work to come out. Sometimes you secure and you sew on your added allowance. You repeat it on the other side as well. So when I'm done with that, I will show you what I have. Okay, so I am done. This is what I have. This is how it's going to be when you are done. Then you flip it. I've seen it. So when you flip it, you have a clean side like this on this side, and you have a clean side on the other side as well. The same thing with this one. I've turned this one, but I have to show you that one. So now this is what we have. We are almost done. Making of shirt is quite easy. I have, so you hold it to the edge like so, making sure the sleeve goes to the edge. But before then, make sure you iron if you have lights. Okay, this fabric I'm using is stretchy. I don't know why. It has a lot of stretch, like a lot of stretch. The stretch in this one is quite much than the other ones I've worked on. So now that we're done with this, we'll proceed to what I was doing before, which is to align your two edges, okay, of your sleeve, your armhole like this. It has to meet this edge, please don't forget. It has to be equal. Then once you've gotten that, you hold the edge here, then notch. So this is your center point. So now get your sleeve, you put it together like so. Again, notch the middle of your sleeve if you have not. Mine is notched, but it's not that defined. Okay, then you open up like so. Okay, you put it, that notch part in this hem that you did, that's where your sleeve, the sleeve is going to start from. Please don't make the mistake of starting from where this edge is. Okay, no, it's going to start from the middle like this. If you do what I did, you will get this. So now you pin round and you sew your sleeve. Okay, sew it round and do it on the other side. I will do that, then I will come back to show you what we have, then we'll proceed to the next one. So this part that I want to do, I have done the collar. I'll show you that. This part that I want to do, it's not up, it's not, you can skip it if you don't want it. You can leave it straight, but I don't want it straight. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to come up from here. I'm going to come up by 2 like so. I'll try to make this 2 straight from here to here. Then bring my sharp or curve ruler just to this point, as seen, like so. Okay, like here will be straight, then you can also, so I'm not giving it too much of a curve, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to trim off. But for you to achieve this, you have to make sure that the fabrics are equal. I'm supposed to do this before I couple the clothes, but it just skipped my mind and decided to do it now. So this is what we have. We don't have too much of a curvy. You can see it's not too curvy. Okay, it's not too curvy. So I want to show you. I have a detailed tutorial on how you can make your collar. Okay, I've made the collar. This is what I have. It will be linked in the description box below. Try and get it. Okay, try and watch it. So I'm not putting the video. It's not attached to this one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my armhole measurement. Always work with your measurement, but I will just give you for male if it's large. Here is usually 14, right? So you're just going to mark your 14. If it's male, if it's large size, this is large. I'm working on this is this is small. This is medium, sorry. So medium is 13. I'm going to mark my 13. Then I added, remember I added 1 inch, 1.5 sewing allowance. So I'm going to sew in my 1.5. But when you get to this part, take your hip measurement, right? Remember the highest body of the distance was what we used to measure do the body block. So now when I get to this point, I'm going to sew 1. But here I'll sew 1.5 down, then here 1, the down part 1, so that it will have room for sitting and all that. All right, that's all for now. Then when you're done, you just fix your buttonhole. I'm not going to show you how to fix buttonhole here because actually I'm taking it to a commercial distance to fix my buttonhole. I will take it to the commercial to fix the buttonhole. But if you want to mark your buttonhole, the distance between the standard distance is 3 or 3.5. You mark your first here from here. The second one will be 3.5 or 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Then you leave like before the edge, like 5 inch. You leave 5 inch or 4 inch without adding buttonhole. So probably the buttonhole you're going to have might be like 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 8 or 7 buttonhole. If you use 4 inches, it will not be up to that. So please do well to like if you find this video helpful. Like and share and leave a comment. Thank you so much. Bye. See you in my next one.